Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever are staring down an expansion storm, and Herb Simon is the one who has to decide who gets left behind. Two new WNBA teams, Portland and the Toronto Tempo, are entering the league. They need talent, and the Fever are only allowed to protect 5 players. Just 5. That means someone Caitlin Clark relies on is about to be exposed. And Herb Simon, the billionaire owner who rebuilt this franchise from the ground up, is running out of time to choose. Here's the nightmare. One wrong move could undo everything the Fever have started to build. Let me break down how ugly this really is. Right now, only 3 players are actually under contract. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, rookie Michaela Timpson. That's the entire list. Kelsey Mitchell, who nearly won MVP last season, is a free agent. Sophie Cunningham, the fan favorite Fever Nation instantly embraced, is a free agent. Lexi Hull, the glue who held things together when injuries piled up, is also a free agent. Herb Simon is looking at a roster that's on the verge of disappearing. And Portland and Toronto are circling, waiting to strike. The Fever can protect 5 players. Portland picks first. Toronto picks next. Anyone left unprotected is fair game. Someone Clark trusts is about to be taken from her, and the responsibility lands squarely on Herb Simon. So who's safe? Clark, Boston, Mitchell, Hull. Those 4 feel untouchable. No real debate there, but that 5th spot, that's where the chaos begins. It comes down to Sophie Cunningham versus Michaela Timpson, and the fan base is already tearing itself apart over it. Timpson, the Tennessee product, was the 19th pick in the 2025 draft. She's 22 years old on a cheap rookie deal and barely saw the floor last season. But she has upside, long arms, solid instincts, raw potential. Maybe she turns into something special in 3 years. Cunningham, on the other hand, is 28, battle-tested, a proven clutch shooter, and a respected locker room leader. Stephanie White trusted her in playoff moments. One of them is getting left exposed. And Fever fans are livid that this is even being debated. One fan wrote, "Not protecting Sophie Cunningham versus Michaela Timpson, should be considered a crime." Herb Simon is about to learn what happens when you sacrifice the wrong player. But it doesn't stop there, because the situation gets even darker. Kelsey Mitchell might not even want to return. That sounds impossible at first. She's been a Fever lifer for 7 years. A 2-time All-Star. The longest tenured player on the roster. But her father passed away in March 2024, right before the season began. She played through that loss all year, and you could see the weight of it. Then, during her exit interview, she said this, "Family is big for me. I'm figuring out what's best for us." She didn't promise anything. She didn't say she was coming back. Right now, Mitchell is playing in Unrivaled, the 3-on-3 league started by Brianna Stewart and Nafisa Collier. She's staying in game shape, but she's also had time to think. Now picture Herb Simon's worst-case scenario. He uses the core designation on Mitchell, the most powerful tool a team has. It gives the Fever exclusive negotiating rights and pays her the supermax for 1 year. He protects her in the expansion draft, builds the entire 2026 plan around her. And she still walks away. At the same time, Sophie Cunningham gets taken by Toronto. Suddenly, Caitlin Clark looks around the locker room wondering where everyone went. Herb Simon could lose both of them, and every bit of it would be on him. Here's what's really being said and why it matters. Caitlin Clark appeared in just 13 games last season. 13. A groin injury, combined with Kelsey Mitchell's setback that shut her down by July, completely altered the year. And yet, while Clark was sidelined, the Indiana Fever went on a playoff run no one saw coming. They knocked off the Connecticut Sun. They pushed the Las Vegas Aces to 5 games in the semifinals, all without their best player. That wasn't luck. That was structure. Stephanie White built something real. Chemistry, trust, depth, and belief. Now comes the hard reality. Nearly half of that roster could be gone before Clark even steps back onto the floor. Sophie Cunningham tore her MCL. Sydney Colson went down. Eric McDonald battled injuries too. The Fever used 18 different players last season, and now almost all of them are either free agents, expansion draft targets, or both. Herb Simon knows this story better than anyone. He built the Fever from the ground up, bringing the franchise into the WNBA in 2000. He watched them draft Tamika Catchings in 2001. He watched them lift a championship trophy in 2012. At 91 years old, he's been doing this longer than most owners in professional sports. And he knows the biggest mistake you can make with a superstar. Surround her with the wrong pieces. Waste her prime. Lose her. Become a warning, not a winner. That's why Simon just poured $78 million into a brand new performance center. That's how strongly he believes in Caitlin Clark. But that investment is meaningless if the players around her disappear. And here's where Fever fans should start panicking. As of February 2026, Herb Simon can't do anything. No one can. The WNBA and the WNBPA are locked in a standoff. Collective bargaining negotiations are frozen. They met in New York and went nowhere. The players are demanding 30% of gross revenue. The league is countering with a model based on net revenue. The gap is massive, hundreds of millions of dollars. Until a deal is reached, everything is on pause. No expansion draft. No free agency. No signings. Herb Simon is watching his roster situation deteriorate by the day, completely powerless to act. The season is scheduled to tip off on May 8th. If the stalemate drags on, games could be delayed. Clark's return could be pushed back. The entire plan could unravel. Stars like Breanna Stewart and Kelsey Plum are holding their ground. Azura Stevens has openly called for new league leadership. The union isn't blinking, and Herb Simon is stuck, watching Portland and Toronto circle his roster like predators. This is a crisis waiting to explode. Here's the reality. The moment the CBA is finally signed, Herb Simon and general manager Amber Cox will have maybe 2 weeks to make decisions that shape Caitlin Clark's entire future. Protect Michaela Timpson over Sophie Cunningham, and you're betting on upside over proven production. You're hoping Cunningham returns in free agency and praying Portland or Toronto doesn't take her first. Protect Cunningham over Timpson, and you're choosing experience, chemistry, and reliability, while walking away from a 22-year-old who could become a star. Then there's Kelsey Mitchell. Simon and Cox have to decide whether to go all in on a player who hasn't committed to coming back. One wrong move, and Clark returns to a stripped-down roster. The floor spacers who made life easier for her? Gone. The veteran voices that held everything together? Gone. The chemistry that pushed Las Vegas to 5 games? Gone. Herb Simon is about to learn whether he'll be remembered as the man who built a championship contender around Caitlin Clark, or the one who wasted a generational talent. Tamika Catchings didn't win alone. She had veterans. She had depth. She had teammates who understood their roles. Clark needs the same foundation. And right now, every bit of it rests on Herb Simon and Amber Cox. The expansion draft is coming. The CBA could be signed any day. And when it happens, we'll find out exactly who the Fever chose to protect, and who they left exposed. Now the question is yours. If you were Herb Simon, what's the move? Protect Cunningham? Protect Timpson? Let Mitchell walk? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe if you want to see how this unfolds, because this story is about to blow up. Caitlin Clark's future is in Herb Simon's hands.